Have you ever felt that some secrets hide in plain sight, waiting for the right person to uncover them? This story begins on a night when the moon glowed brighter than usual, casting strange silver shadows across a great kingdom. People whispered that something mysterious was happening in the royal castle, something even magic feared to speak of, and the secret belonged to the king's 12 beloved daughters, whose smiles hid a truth deeper than the night. Little did they know, their lives were about to change forever. The kingdom was prosperous, filled with golden fields, clear rivers, and people who adored their ruler. Yet the king, though wise and respected, carried a burden no one else could see. Every morning, without fail, 12 delicate pairs of dancing shoes were found torn, scuffed, and worn through as if the princesses had danced till dawn. No guard saw them leave, no door was ever opened, and no magic spell was detected. Still, the mystery grew heavier with each passing sunrise. Each princess had her own unique charm. Adelheid the eldest carried a quiet strength and calm wisdom that made even noblemen pause in admiration. Lynette, the youngest, was a spark of joy, always curious, always laughing, always questioning the world with wide, bright eyes. Between them lived 10 other sisters, each with a personality as vivid as a painting. They were gentle, playful, fearless, scholarly, 12 different worlds in one family. But inside their hearts rested a shared secret they could not reveal, no matter how much the king begged or feared for them. Each night, the king locked their chamber door with his own hands, using a heavy iron key known only to him. Yet every dawn, the destruction of their shoes returned like a curse. At first, he thought they were playing a childish prank, but he soon realized the truth must be something far darker. A fear grew that one night, whatever awaited them might take them away forever. Desperate, the king made a bold and dangerous announcement. He declared across the land that anyone who discovered where his daughters went at night, and why their shoes were ruined, would win a princess's hand and someday inherit the kingdom. But failure came with a terrible price. 3 nights to find the truth, or death awaited them. Many confident princes arrived, certain they could solve the mystery quickly. But each one was lulled into a deep, enchanted sleep, waking to failure and their fate. Whispers spread through kingdoms near and far about the deadly challenge. No more noblemen dared to enter the castle gates. The palace hallways grew silent, and hope drained from the king's tired eyes. But fate had its own plans. On a distant road, a weary soldier named Henry walked toward destiny without knowing it. Henry had just completed his service, earning honor for his bravery and sharp mind. He carried only a small bag, a sturdy stick, and a heart that believed fairness always mattered. Though he had no noble blood, he stood with the confidence of someone who had survived battles greater than pride. He had heard whispers of the princess's mystery, but did not fear it. Something inside him urged him to trip, perhaps courage, or perhaps destiny calling his name. One cold morning, he came across an old woman leaning on a twisted staff. Her eyes sparkled, despite her age, as if she knew more than the world around her. "Where are you headed, young traveler?" she asked. "To the king's court," Henry answered. "I believe I may solve the mystery others could not." The woman studied him for a long moment, then nodded slowly. "Many stronger than you have lost their lives," she warned gently. "Strength is not the same as wisdom," Henry replied. A faint smile flickered on her lips before she reached into her cloak. From within, she pulled a shimmering white garment that glowed faintly under the morning sun. "This cloak will make you invisible. And whatever you do, do not drink their wine." Henry bowed with deep gratitude, but the old woman simply said, "Your choices will determine your fate," and disappeared into the forest. When Henry arrived at the castle, The guards laughed at the sight of a common soldier wanting to solve a royal mystery. But the king, desperate for hope, allowed him entry. "You are no prince," the king said softly. "No," Henry replied, "but courage and determination belong to everyone." The princesses were summoned, their elegant footsteps echoing like soft bells. Adelheid stepped forward first, graceful and calm. "We welcome you," she said, though her eyes carried a shadow of worry. Henry bowed deeply, noting every detail of their expressions. Something about them seemed both burdened and guarded. That night, the princesses visited him with a cup of deep purple wine. He pretended to drink, letting it slip quietly into a hidden fold of his sleeve. Then he lay down, closing his eyes while keeping his mind awake and alert. For a long time, there was silence. Then he heard whispers soft, cautious, and excited. "Is he asleep?" one sister whispered. He drank the wine. "Of course, he's asleep," another replied. "Then let us go. Midnight is here." Henry quietly rose, wrapped himself in the invisibility cloak, and followed them toward a sound he had never heard before: 3 soft taps on the floor. A hidden stone door slid open, revealing a staircase descending into glowing darkness. The stairs led into a breathtaking cavern filled with glowing crystals. The air shimmered with silver dust, making every breath feel magical. Then, before his eyes, appeared a vast forest, where the trees sparkled like melted moonlight. The leaves glowed silver, lighting the way like tiny luminous stars. Henry snapped a twig for proof, and the crack echoed loudly. "What was that?" Lynette whispered. "Only the wind," Adelheid replied, though her brow furrowed. They moved quickly, unaware. Henry walked beside them. Beyond the silver grove lay a golden forest, glowing like sunlight trapped inside branches. Warm air drifted through the leaves, carrying the scent of a strange, sweet perfume. Henry quietly took a piece of golden branch as proof. The trees seemed to hum with magic, vibrating softly beneath his fingertips. Further ahead, a breathtaking sight unfolded: a forest made entirely of diamond-bright crystals. Light refracted off every leaf, scattering colors across the cavern like falling stars. He gently broke a crystal twig, its sound sharp enough to make the princesses jump. "That was not the wind," one whispered fearfully. "Something feels different tonight," Adelheid murmured, glancing into the darkness. "Come," another urged. "We cannot stop now." They reached a shimmering lake filled with floating lanterns that flickered like captured souls. 12 boats awaited them, each rowed by a prince dressed in deep blue garments. "Good evening, my princesses," the boatman greeted with warm smiles. The sisters returned the greeting, stepping gracefully into their boats. Henry slipped silently into Adelheid's boat, causing the prince to frown. "It feels heavier tonight, my lady," he said. "You are tired," she answered softly, avoiding his gaze. The boat glided across the water, lanterns drifting like silent watchers. On the far shore stood a magnificent palace made of silver, gold, and crystal intertwined. Its towers shimmered like frozen lightning, and its windows glowed like fireflies. Music floated out, delicate and enchanting, as unseen musicians played. Inside, the sisters danced with the dark princes, their shoes wearing thin with every step. Adelheid danced with a seriousness that puzzled Henry. It was as if she wasn't dancing for joy, but out of obligation, bound by something unseen. Henry collected a golden goblet to bring back as evidence. Near dawn, the music faded, and the sisters rushed back to their boats. Their shoes were ruined again, torn and worn through. The second night followed the same pattern, though the sisters seemed more troubled. Whispers passed between them as they danced. "Do you ever wish this enchantment would end?" one sister murmured. "Hush!" Adelheid warned. "We must not speak of it." But Henry heard everything. By the third night, fear flickered in their movements. "Something is following us," whispered Lynette. "Nothing is there?" Adelheid insisted, though she glanced around nervously. Henry gathered the last of his evidence. Soon, dawn arrived, and he rushed ahead to lie on his bed moments before they checked on him. The next morning, the king summoned Henry to the throne room. Servants, guards, nobles, everyone gathered in tense silence. The princesses stood in their finest gowns, but their faces were pale with worry. "Your time is finished," the king said. "Have you discovered the truth?" "I have," Henry replied firmly. Gasps echoed through the court. He placed the silver branch, the golden branch, the diamond twig, and the golden goblet before the king. The room filled with shock and disbelief. Then Henry described the magical forests, the lake, the palace, and the princes hidden underground. The king turned to his daughters with trembling hands. "Is this true?" he asked softly. The eldest nodded, tears shining in her eyes. "We were bound by an ancient enchantment placed on our mother's bloodline. We could not speak of it, nor resist it." At her confession, the enchantment shattered like breaking glass. Far beneath the castle, the underground palace dissolved into mist. The boats vanished, the princes disappeared, and the forests faded into legend. The princesses felt freedom in their bones for the first time in their lives. Relief, joy, and tears spilled together. The king embraced Henry gratefully. "You saved my daughters," he said. "You shall have your reward. Choose one princess to marry." Henry looked at Adelheid, whose strength had guided her sisters through fear. "Your Majesty," he said gently, "I choose Adelheid." A soft smile touched her lips as she whispered, "I would be honored." Their wedding was celebrated for days with music, feast, and laughter echoing across the kingdom. Adelheid vowed to stand beside Henry with courage and wisdom. Henry promised to cherish and protect her all his life. As years passed, he became a fair and beloved ruler. The 12 sisters flourished, each following her dreams for the first time. And though the enchanted groves vanished forever, people still whispered the tale of the 12 princesses who danced beneath the earth. A story that lived on in hearts, reminding everyone that bravery, truth, and kindness can break even the oldest magic. The castle's halls never again echoed with ruined slippers. Only peace, joy, and freedom remained. And so their legend continued, passing through time like a dance that never truly ended. Underscore if you enjoyed this magical story. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss our next enchanting tale.